back to Game On. Today we have the two most decorated figure skaters of all time on our show in the forms of Tessa and Scott Moir. They gave me some of their time during their busy Thank You Canada tour schedule, and I couldn't have been any more appreciated. I also welcome into the studio Ariana Adams-Pritchard and Tanner Wilden of the Algoma Thunderbirds soccer team as we discuss their travels and how they ended up in our little city, as well as their thoughts on the season that, after Saturday, will be all wrapped up. And for those of you who followed the ticket giveaway, we reached out to our contest winner, Victor, and I was thrilled to see how excited and genuinely appreciative he was on winning. I'm glad those tickets will be put to good use, and all of us here at ONNtv hope to hear you cheering harder than everyone else. Now let's take a quick look at the news from the world of sports. Sportsnet has announced its broadcast schedule for the 2018-2019 season, and the Sioux Greyhounds will have one televised game coming on December 15th at 3:30 p.m. when they visit Hamilton to take on the Bulldogs. The only other OHL teams that will be shown on Sportsnet during this season are the London Knights, Ottawa 67s, Oshawa Generals, Kitchener Rangers, Guelph Storm, Mississauga Steelheads, and the Kingston Frontenacs. Despite finishing first in the CHL last season, the Hounds ended up losing in 6 games to the Bulldogs in the OHL final. During the 2018 postseason, the Hounds were shown on Sportsnet 4 times, including twice in the quarterfinal series against Saginaw and twice in the final against Hamilton. The chance to skate with the Greyhounds has once again shown itself with this year's Bell Celebrity Skate. Meet the Sioux Greyhounds, shake paws with Dash, and raise money for your team on November 13th between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the GFL Memorial Gardens. Admission is a minimum of $35 in pledges on behalf of Rotary Youth Project, but participants who fundraise above and beyond can take home amazing prizes. Funds raised from Rotary events such as the Bell Celebrity Skate are used to improve young lives in our community, such as the Rotary Adventure Playground in Bellevue Park. For a full list of prizes and pledge forms, head on over to SiouxOnline.com. To the association, LeBron's impressive performance in the Lakers' first game of the season was not enough to push them past the Portland Trail Blazers. LeBron posted 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists on the night with one monster slam, but Portland's Damian Lillard led the night with a game-high 28. Canadian Nick Stauskas was also very impressive with his 24-point outing, which was good for third highest on the night between the two teams in just 24 minutes of play. Welcome back to Game On, where I'm joined by two of the Algoma Thunderbirds soccer players, Ariana Adams and Tanner Wilden. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
Good. Now, I want to first ask, how did you guys end up in small little Sault Ste. Marie? You're from Ajax yourself, and you're from Florida yourself, so I guess the Florida trip's going to be quite a long one. How did you end up here?
I'll go first.
He said you're from Florida.
Oh, so it was actually quite interesting for me. Assistant coach Nick Mullen actually called me up. I was in Germany at the time playing soccer. Oh, wow. So he just asked me, because initially my plan was to go to the USA. Mm-hmm. And he just asked me if I'd be interested in playing in Canada too. And then that's just how it went on, kept going. And then eventually I signed and came here.
And yeah, here we are now. Now, Ajax isn't as far away, but still, how did you find yourself here?
I went to the Ontario University Fair, and I found Algoma through that. I came academically first, and then I continued with soccer here.
And what's your background in soccer before? Have you been playing your whole life and you wanted to continue post-secondary? Is that the case?
Yeah.
Yes.
What programs were you a part of growing up? I guess we'll start with yourself.
I played for the city of Ajax, and then after that folded, I played for an academy called FC Durham until I was here.
And yourself, Tanner?
So I played for 3 clubs in Germany. One was Borussia Brand, Hertha Walheim, and SV Rot.
Good thing you had to say those and I didn't. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, so that was mostly just academy soccer. I've been playing since I think 5 years old. And
oh, wow.
Never had any other issues with other sports.
And loved it ever since?
Yes.
And how has the season gone for you guys playing? I know the record probably doesn't speak as well as you'd like it to, but have you taken enough of a lesson from this season to carry on with you for the next one?
So I feel like our season was a bit disappointing, especially considering last season was our best season yet. But I feel like a lot of our players, especially considering I'm only in my second year and a lot of my teammates are first, second years, and just getting that experience in the OUA is great for the oncoming years, and I feel like we could do better the next few years. And
getting that chemistry to click too, especially with those first-year guys. Yeah. Now, Ariana, do you have anything different you'd add to that?
Well, the girls team, we finally got our first point in the OUA, so we're really proud about that. But we also are a little disappointed with how we finished off the season because we did expect a couple of wins, but you can only go up from where we are, so that's what we're looking forward to next season.
And one question I had for Sioux College when they came in, because their teams travel together as well, but they don't really interact at all. You guys normally play the same schools at the same time. They'll play a couple hours before the men. Do you guys interact at all during these trips, or is it mainly the men's team and the women's team?
No, we interact all the time, like on the bus. We always play games together. We play pranks on each other. Like,
a few of us live on residence too, so.
Okay. Who had the best prank so far, and what was it?
Oh boy.
Was it locking Eves in the bathroom? I think that was.
Oh yeah.
Can I have some context to this story?
So me and Rafa, one of my teammates, were roommates. So we would share a bathroom, and I would be in the one room and the other. And then it just happened to be that we were about to go somewhere that evening. So he was over at ours, we're getting ready to go. And he was in the bathroom, so me and Rafa just came up with the idea to lock him in there and then he was in there for like a few hours.
And that's probably going to be the icing on the cake for the pranks, I'd have to say, right? Yeah. Now, your coach is here, Coach Neil. He coaches both of you guys, and he's pacing around. I don't know if he's nervous. He's not. I hope not as nervous as we are up here. But what was it like to have a coach that's so dedicated his time to both the men's and the women's team? Does that help you guys in that experience?
Yeah, it definitely does help that he cares so much about us, and for both me and Tanner, I feel like Neil is one of the best coaches in the OUA, and he just definitely cares about us a lot.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how he applies his like knowledge of soccer and his philosophy onto both teams. I just think it's interesting to see what the girls do with it and what the guys do with it, because I do feel like we play differently, but with the same philosophy, which I think is interesting.
All right. Now, Tanner, do you call it soccer because you're in North America, or would you normally call it football? What set the precedent straight for us here?
I call it foosball, but because my family is, like, part of my family is American, I do reference it soccer too.
It depends who you're around, right? Do you have a favorite club from Germany? I'm not a huge soccer fan, but for Alphonso Davies, I'm following him. He just got signed to Bayern, which is absolutely fantastic for a Canadian guy.
If I had to pick, it'd be Bayern, yes.
Bayern? And do you have a favorite professional team by any means?
I don't really watch professional soccer. It's more about like the women's soccer. Like I like the Canadian national team, the U.S. national team. But
Sinclair's coming really close to beating Andy Wambach's international goals record, so fingers crossed for her. Now, you guys have a game coming up against McMaster. This is the final game of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are.
What sort of things are we prepping? How are we fine-tuning those skills to get ready for that game?
I feel like the girls, we're just going to work on our defensive shape and try to attack more because we can do it, and we're going to take a lot of shots and hopefully get some goals. Get
some lucky bounces. And Tanner, yourself?
We're just looking to keep the shape at the back. I think we're planning on changing it up a bit because looking on to next season, we have a few other things in mind, so we're just going to use this as a practice game as well.
And one question, did I cut you off at all?
No.
Oh, one question I have too is that when you guys play at Superior, that's turf. For the most part, do you have a preference if it's turf or if it's actual ground? I know lots of people say turf kind of gets everywhere in your clothing and it hurts a little bit more, but do you guys really have a preference?
I like turf better. I've been playing on turf since I was 8, so like I don't really like grass anymore.
I very much prefer turf as well because I've been playing it all my life.
Wow. Guys? How easy was that? Look at that. We're already at the end of the interview. That was great. Thank you guys so much. Ariana, Tanner, I wish you the best of luck. And Neil, who's off camera, thank you guys so much for all coming in. More Game On after this. Welcome back to Game On. And I want to say, I've got probably some of the most easily recognizable names in Canada sports right now. Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. How are you guys doing today, guys?
Fantastic.
Thank you guys so much. First off, how has the reception been on the first few stops of this tour?
Well, we're 6 stops in, and I can say that the audiences have been electric. It's been so
with people and fans from these smaller communities in Canada, smaller cities, and places we've never even skated before. So it's been really thrilling, and we just can't wait to keep this run going.
And I just want to ask, too, I spoke to Scott when he was in the Sioux for the Brad Jacobs Charity Classic. I had to bother him for a little bit and ask him a couple of questions about the tour. But I want to know now is where did the idea start? Was it over a cup of coffee? How did the idea come to you guys first to actually want to produce your own tour?
I think it happened on the plane ride home when we were kind of thinking of, what we can do to repay Canadians for all the support over the years, and also try to inspire not just the next generation of skaters, but the next generation of athletes, artists, just young people to follow their dreams and have the opportunities that we had. And we figured that the way to be the most effective would be to do a cross-country tour and be able to go into all these different communities and kind of inspire them and give back in that way. And a lot of our castmates are in a similar position to us, and we're very excited about the idea. So we kind of put together our dream team and hit the road.
Well, I'm glad things are off to a hot start. Now, my next question is, besides being able to perform, which I'm sure you guys still love every ounce of it, what's been another highlight of the tour so far for you?
Well, visiting new places in Canada is always wonderful. Getting to meet people all across the country and people who have supported us for such a long time. But also just being more involved in the production process. I mean, having a hand in the music and the lighting and the visuals, something we've thought about for a long time, dreamed about for a long time. We had this idea in our minds of what kind of show we wanted to create, and still have to pinch myself every night to realize that, we've made it come to life with, of course, a wonderful team around us. But I think that's been nice for us from a business standpoint to sort of exercise that part of our brains.
And that really segues into this next question now, is you guys have done so much. You've got gold medals, you've got silver medals, you've got world championships, national championships, but where does producing your own tour rank among those lists of accomplishments?
Well, it's a very fulfilling project. I have to say, though, we have a lot of input. We have a great team around us, so we wouldn't be anywhere without our production partners. But at the same time, I don't know where we go from here because we started with such a great cast, and we're so proud of this show. A lot of it came together very organically, and we used a lot of the people that we used in our competition world to prepare for this tour. And we're super proud of the show that we were able to put on the ice. But it's up there. It has been a great project for us, and I think we're just starting to, now that the show is actually touring, we get to be castmates again, and we're starting to really enjoy kind of the fruits of our labor and be able to connect with people across the country in these communities, and that's been so special to us. So this isn't a project that we took lightly. It was a lot of work, and it's because we wanted to do it well. We wanted to make sure that we were successful, and I think so far the feedback has been great, and we can't wait to kind of continue that momentum on throughout the rest of the country.
What a genuine answer. Now, I was doing some scouring on the Instagrams before I had this phone call with you guys, and Tessa...
On the gram.
Pardon?
I said on the gram.
On the gram, of course. I gotta be sure I'm doing my research for you guys. So I was actually taking a look at Tessa's not too long ago, and the video she posted yesterday about the book sales. 2 questions. 1, did you actually break that stand? And 2, having such great sales on that book must be a genuine feeling, and I just want to know your thoughts on it.
I did, in fact, break that sign. I felt so bad, but the staff at that Chinook chapters, they were just beyond lovely for putting. I just kind of terrorized the store for a while and had some fun. And also all the people that made cameos, shout out to them because they were so good about that. They were just naturals on camera. So that was a lot of fun to put together. But, I mean, that came from a genuine place of complete shock that the book has been doing so well. I mean, we love it, and we love the product that NNC, the publishing house, came up with in the end. And of course, Steve Milton, who's a dear friend of ours and who has covered our career for such a long time. I think he tells our story beautifully and authentically. And that people are, that is resonating with people is really heartwarming and, kind of insane, when you look at a list with Bob Woodward on there.
And your stop in the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario is where I'm calling you from. It comes the 25th. For people that have purchased their tickets, what can the fans expect out of that tour stop?
They can expect to have a good time. Hopefully, that's the main goal. We want to entertain people, whether you're skating fans or not. There are a couple elements in the show where the skating fan will get a real treat and look back at some classic skating programs. Our favorite, the Patrick Channel, the Stoikos career, and as well, hopefully, a little bit of a look into the future, what we think skating can be, and just the entertainment value. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get some audience participation, and we're going to bring some elements that are hopefully a little bit unique to the common skating show.
And one last question for you guys. If we want to keep up on all the tour travels, where can we follow you guys along this whole tour across the nation?
Well, I think the whole cast seems to be pretty active on social media, but the Thank You Canada Tour has a website, Twitter account, and Instagram handle, and you shouldn't have a problem finding out where we are and what crazy things we're up to.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I know the tour is quite a busy schedule, but I want to thank you for doing this for us.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much for chatting.
Have a great night, and more Game On after this. And there you have it. We are over 20 episodes into Game On, and we are bringing some star power to the show as of late between the CFL and Olympic gold medalists. I just wanted to give everyone a heads up that there will not be any new episodes of Game On next week, as I won't be in the office. But starting again the week of the 29th, we have some guests already lined up, so you won't want to miss any of that action at 8:30 p.m. from Tuesday to Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I hope to see you on Monday for ONNtv's coverage of the municipal election. And that's it. You found yourself at the end of another Game On video, but there's more. If you're looking for more Game On content from Matt and myself, you'll be able to find exactly that right here.